podcast time. You already know that. Welcome to Wawaka Winery, and this is the Wawaka Experience. This week on the podcast show, I have a good friend of mine, and I'll introduce him in a minute. But before I do that, I got a little bit of business to take care of. We got food from good friends of mine, George Delgado. He's actually my boss at Crossroads RV too. But him and his family own a restaurant in Elkhart, Indiana. And it is called La Esperanza. And I've ate there quite a few times, and I wanted to get something from Elkhart County this weekend because you'll see why in here in a second. But I want to thank George and his whole family for the wonderful meal they prepared for us today, because I've had his food there before, and I knew it was going to be good, and it was a no-brainer. And just hats off to the whole Esperanza team. You did a phenomenal job, and I thank you very much. And I have one more business to mention. I want to mention Leatherman Auto Repair and Body Shop in Albion, Indiana, because they really saved my tail. My good friend Tommy Leatherman did me a good solid, got my truck hauled over there safely, and changed out my alternator, and kept me from a lot of busted knuckles and a lot of cussing. So, and they're fair price too. They did good work, and they're good guys to talk to. They put up with me. So if you need anything with auto repair, take it out to Albion. He's out there on State Road 8, just past Central Noble School, and they'll treat you right. They treat me right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take my truck there to get a tune-up, because I'm not going to do it myself. But, well, anyways, with all that out of the way, I'm really excited to have a good friend of mine. I haven't seen him in forever. I grew up with him, but it is the Republican Elkhart County Republican candidate for sheriff, and is Jeff Siegel. But hi, Jeff. I'm glad to have it. I'm glad you made it out here. Some of your old stomping grounds, kind of, sort of. But it was good seeing you tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us out. It's been a great experience so far. Great food. Definitely recommend La Esperanza.
Yeah. I've been out there a couple of times, and their margaritas are pretty good too. Because my mom. Me and my mom and her husband Rusty were out there, and Rusty had to drive.
Designated driver was a good idea.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, with the DDs, though, me and my buddies, it is a good thing. But when you're smart aleck buddy that's a DD, drops you off at somebody else's house. But yeah,
you should have known where you were at.
Yep. But well, I wanted to have you on here because when I heard you running for the sheriff at Elkhart County, I was pretty excited, because I like that guy. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job.
Well, thank you.
But can you tell everybody kind of your background, where you came from, and
Sure. I am originally from Ligonier and grew up Ligonier, went to West Lowell High School, graduated with your brother Jack.
Yeah.
He lives in Elkhart County. We're still good friends today. And my dad was a state trooper at the Ligonier Post many moons ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
That's where the McDonald's is now.
Yeah.
That used to be the state police.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, went through high school and went to college, went to Ball State, got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. But interestingly, growing up, I was always working down at the neighbor's farm, Tom and Carlisle Herald.
Okay, yes.
And they sold the farm, and I kind of had the farming bug, because you grew up on a farm.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't ever get rid of that farming bug either.
No, you don't.
I didn't, anyways.
And Dad was a cop. We didn't have a farm, although we lived in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he said, if you want to be a farmer, you're going to have to marry the farmer's daughter.
That's true.
They're waving at me. So,
yeah.
I worked hard to get my degree, married the farmer's daughter, and lo and behold, her dad sold the farm.
Oh,
So it was a family business, law enforcement, and that's where
yeah.
we've been now for about 27 years.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about your dad earlier. No, he's like your dad, John. He's an awesome guy. But like I said, and I'm glad you agreed, because there was that old TV show, Simon and Simon.
Yep.
And I remember when we were watching it, when we lived in Wawaka, and I said, the one guy, it was the mustache, he always had the cowboy hat. I said, that looks exactly like John Siegel. And Mom and Dad said, son, you're right.
You're right. I mean, I remember back even when that show was on, people would always talk about, the red hair, red mustache, of course, balding.
Yeah.
So Dad's gotten a little thin up top.
Yeah, well, at least he's got an excuse. I'm only in my 40s and I'm getting thinning up top.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah. But, how long have you been in Elkhart County now?
Well, I once we got out of college, I took a job at Grange County. I actually worked there for about a year, and that's where I was working when Becky and I ended up getting married.
Okay.
And while I was in college, I had applied at Elkhart County and didn't hear anything from them. So I'm working in LaGrange County, and the phone rings one day, and it's Captain Bob Williams, he's deceased now. And he said, "Hey, Jeff, are you still interested in being a deputy at Elkhart County?"
Yeah.
And of course I said, "Sure." So went over there, went through their process, got hired as a patrolman, and I've been there since March of 1991.
91. So you've been there many
We
years.
had the math battle earlier tonight, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm playing on the computer here because I want to draw up a picture, and it was torture on me because I didn't know rather to comment on this because it was just driving me nuts, and I didn't want to upset. I knew you would understand because you got a good sense of humor.
I do, and that's something I've been able to maintain through all these years.
Yeah, but this picture here, and I knew exactly where it was when I saw it. And you're over my brother Jack's at their Chore Boys farm, and holding the baby pig. You know how many times I typed it in? I backspace. No, I can't say that. I knew you'd think it's funny, but I didn't know how many, because I wanted to say, look, a pig. What's he holding?
And that picture was when we did the Republican Party did a booth for the 4-H fair.
Okay.
So they had asked all the candidates, to work the booth and then provide a photo that kind of has a 4-H theme to it. Mm-hmm. Well, I can laugh at myself, and
Yeah.
the old saying, police officers are pigs, and I thought that's perfect.
That was great.
That was very fitting. So I called up Jack. I'm like, "Hey, you got any baby pigs?" He goes, "Yeah, why?" So I'm like, "I'll be right over."
That's awesome.
So I show up in uniform, and he didn't know what to think.
Well, the thing is great about it too, he got a do-rock, and it matches the uniform. It's a brown pig with the county uniform. Everything matched up. It looks great.
Yeah, it went together pretty well. Of course, Jack was not happy with how I was holding his pig. You know how he lectures you. So
Yeah.
give me an education.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's tried to lecture me my whole life, and look how I turned out. Well, I'm not bad, but I'm not quite normal. But
You're doing all right.
Yeah, I'd say so. But so you're running for Elkhart Sheriff now, and we were discussing it. I brought it up because, I had my friend Max Weber on this a few weeks ago because he's running for Noble County. Your dad's told me he knew Max real well, and I've known Max forever.
Yeah, because Max is he still a trooper? Or?
Yeah, he's still a trooper now.
So Dad and Max would have worked.
Yeah, they would have probably quite a bit. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Dad ended up, he was a trooper for 34 years.
Yeah. I got a kick out of your dad all the time, and he even looked like a trooper, but he was such a great guy that he still is, because I reconnected with him. I saw him at church earlier this summer, and I couldn't get enough of him. We both talked each other's ears off for a good hour and a half.
It was funny because when I got hired at Elkhart County, I was in the process for the state police.
Oh.
And back in the early 90s, getting a law enforcement job was kind of hard because it was like everybody wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so I called him and I said, hey, I've got this job offer from Elkhart County. He says, well, take it. And I said, well, should I not wait to be a trooper? He goes, nope. He goes, that's not a sure thing, so just take the first thing that comes along, and if it seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. I said,
well,
so far,
evidently it was a good fit because how many years later?
Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a good fit.
It was a good fit.
Yeah.
It's been a great career. I've had so many opportunities. We could sit here all night and tell war stories.
Yeah. Well, the point I kind of want to make up because I have Max on what we have on Noel County, and he talked about issues we got in Noel County, and like I said, Elkhart County is so much different from what we have going on over here because number one, it's a bigger county, and number two, the population is so. What do you see as pressing issues and for the next sheriff? What would be the pressing issues, the most important issues you see to be sheriff for Elkhart County?
Well, a lot of people don't connect mental illness to a sheriff.
Yeah.
But, our facility over there, our jail, our correctional facility, that's built to hold over 1,000 inmates.
Okay.
The population ranges, it's 800-900,
Yes.
It changes every day.
Yeah.
But so many people these days come in there with mental illness. And, a lot of our corrections officers are younger people that have not had training in dealing with the mentally ill. And it's something that these guys are seeing every day. They're dealing with inmates who are suffering from a wide range of mental illness. And, as I dove into this campaign, they actually say that 1 in 4 Americans has mental illness. And, it has so many different diseases in there, from depression to addictions and, then the serious stuff like schizophrenia.
Oh, yeah.
That these officers have to deal with. And, we've got a great medical group that comes in and takes care of our inmates, but I think we need to do more. But we don't just deal with it in the jail. The calls that we take are also dealing with mental illness.
Okay.
That's just one of the things that we have to deal with over there. But a cool thing about Elkhart County is we've got, the more urban area up in Elkhart, Dunlap, Jimtown, that's more like a bigger type city environment.
Yeah.
But the southern half of our county is, farms, a little more like Noble County.
Yeah.
So the officers have to really deal with a diverse population.
Oh, yeah.
And, the folks in Elkhart, they're going down and dealing with farmers because we know how farmers are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I never thought of that, but I guess I had thought of that, but the mental illness aspects, you got a really good point there, and as I'm all for back in the day, and this is someone break the law, jail their ass, that's where it belongs, but not so much. I think you got a good point there. I think our country needs to turn more towards treatment and helping people, then making them become a better member of society that can contribute to society. I get what you're saying there.
In another program we have got in our jail, we've got an amazing set of programs that inmates can get involved with.
That's great.
And it has really made a difference because, let's be honest, there are people in our society that need to go to prison forever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But we can't put everybody in prison because I believe right now Indiana has 26,000 inmates.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of people. That's what, the population of Goshen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you can't lock everybody up.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out a way to either treat them or help them with their illness or whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
So that way they can get out of being incarcerated and be a productive member.
And then everybody wins. I mean, really, it's now. I think you got a great point there. So,
well, we got the drug problem. That stuff all of our communities have.
That's always gonna.
It's everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're Noble County, Elkhart County.
Yeah, because our deal was there for a while. Well, like Max mentioned, there's not the meth labs are not as many in Noble County as it used to be, but it's being brought in. But he said something about the opioids. Southern Indiana's dealing with that right now, is what he mentioned. He said they're keeping an eye on that. They don't want it, in case we might have to be facing that problem. But
we've faced some of that. We have the heroin epidemic in Elkhart County,
and that's tied in with the opioid classification.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got the prescription drug opioid issue.
Yeah.
You have people claim that doctors overprescribe or give a dosage that's.
I've heard that a lot. I'm uneducated on that. I don't know enough to make an opinion on that.
And then you hear people say, well, the doctors are giving a smaller dosage, but if a person has access to 100 pills at a smaller dosage, well, you just take 2 pills.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the same concept as, Oreo cookies. Well, I'm going to get smaller packets so I don't eat so many. You're going to eat the whole damn pack. I mean, it's the same, lesser, but it's the same kind. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. But,
another area we're really blessed with over there is we've got great relationships with the other agencies, because just a few months ago, we started a countywide homicide unit.
Oh, okay.
That's Elkhart PD, Goshen PD, and the Sheriff's Department all put manpower into this.
Nice.
And they investigate all of our homicides, suicides, suspicious deaths, anything that's kind of weird.
You guys are having, with the higher population, it's going to happen. With here in Noble County, I mean, Noble County, we consist of, the biggest town we have is Kendallville, I think. Mm-hmm. And, and I've been in Noble County for the majority of my life. I just don't, I don't relate to all that stuff. I don't see the bigger city problems. I mean, this last night I was at Fort Wayne talking to a really good guy, and but you can tell I'm just a huckleberry, and there's things out in the world that, like what you brought up, I wouldn't have thought of that, but with a higher population, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, the higher population definitely can have different issues than the rural population.
Yeah. So, well, heck, is there anything else, any other, issues you can think of, or anything that, because you know more about law enforcement than I do.
We could talk all night. We were at the Elkhart County Women's Republican meeting the other day, and they give each candidate 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I talked for about 2 minutes, and a lady stands up and says, well, I have a question.
Okay.
She says, well, why should I vote for you? And that's about a 30-minute to an hour.
Oh, absolutely.
Answer. So, I talked as fast as I could, but hopefully we got some support from her.
Yeah, well, good. Well, we were talking about coming back to being kids again, talking about, and we went to church. Your mom was my Sunday school teacher, and I remember having it was the Sunday school class was spending the night at your guys' place, and it was winter out, and your mom made cocoa, and I just slurped it down, and I ended up burning my tongue and sucking on ice the rest of the night. So I got
they call it hot cocoa.
Yeah, exactly. See, about like that lady that sued McDonald's years ago, but she won the lawsuit.
You could have sued mom. She was with you.
Yeah, I wasn't good. But talking about along lines, that's church, because we were talking about my dad too, and there's a funny story about my dad. Well, it wasn't at the time because I got the bad end of it, but of course my parents had 5 kids and 5 wild kids that, time to go to church. Mom made us go to church every Sunday. Uh-huh. And but you had to pull us out of the woods or the barn, or we were wild children, and I don't mean that we were actually almost like coyotes, and trying to get us all cleaned up and dressed up and into the car.
There's no way Stephanie behaved like that.
Yeah, she's actually, I can't even. She tells people that me and her are cousins to this day. I don't think she's ashamed of me, but I don't think she's proud.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyways, on this, getting back to going to church, Dad, he finally had enough, because his fuse is always about that long anyways.
I remember that.
And when Mom was mad, Dad was... That's when you knew you didn't want to make Mom mad either, because if Dad caught wind of it, it was not going to be good. Well, Dad finally lost his cool because they couldn't. It was like rounding up water,
like herding cats.
Yeah, basically. And I was standing there, and Dad started yelling at all the kids. He said, "God damn it!" He said, "Get your asses in the car." He said, "We're going to church." He said, "I'm going to beat the shit out of every one of you. You're not in the car in 3 minutes." And I just thought it was funny because Dad sat there yelling, cussing, and screaming about going to church. I go, "Amen." Yeah. He just turned to me, and I go, "Uh-oh." And I touched the ground maybe twice on the way to the car. He kicked me all the way there.
I don't know what your dad's obsession was with the number 3, but he always threatened to whip my ass.
He was saying he was going to whip, yeah.
He would always say I could whip your ass in 3 seconds.
He must have had a thing with 3. But you know, the thing...
I was in a basketball game. I actually got into play.
Yeah. I remember you were on a basketball team.
He was threatening me from the bleachers. I'm not there trying to play basketball, and he's threatening me.
And then the thing is, it means... he likes you is what it means. If he's threatening to kick your ass,
he definitely shows his affection.
Yeah, that's how he always shows his affection because he really liked me. But coming back to Ops, do you have any memorable moments as a police officer that sticks out on top of your head that you'd want to talk about? Or
you know, I have so many amazing experiences. You know, when I got out of the academy, worked patrol like everybody else, but I got the opportunity to work as an undercover officer.
That's right.
And,
I knew that.
Know, some of the stuff we did and saw back then, it was definitely memorable. But it really got my interest in criminal investigations going. Because, you know, when I became a cop, I wanted to wear a uniform every day. I wanted to, you know, go out and patrol. I wanted to be in a marked car. But once I started working undercover, it really got me interested in investigating.
That would be interesting work.
So I came out of the drug unit after 4 years and worked in patrol for a while. And it was, you know, memorable moments, but a lot of those were, you know, bad situations, you know, pursuits and fatal crashes and responding to homicides and stuff like that. But that, just a few more years of that, and that's when I came to the Detective Bureau. And that's where I am today. I've been in the Detective Bureau for over 20 years.
Okay.
And after working as a detective for years, you know, I worked child molest cases, and you know.
Well, that'd be rough. But so, I mean, hats off to you, because that needs, because kids are always my soft spot, and that'd be rough. But and I'm glad there's people like you out there that can handle to do that.
And unfortunately,
it gives a voice to that kid that just can't.
Yeah, and there is so much of that going on in our communities. I mean, it's everywhere.
Exactly.
But you know what? That is so rewarding because, you know, I'll have people to this day, you know, we're talking 15, 16 years later, will come up to me and they'll see me at the fair.
Yeah.
And they'll come up, they're like, "Hey, Officer Siegel, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." Well, here was a girl that I'd worked in molest on who's now an adult and is married, and you know, you handled their situation, and here you made it, you know,
that's
such a difference
awesome.
in their life.
I tell you, that's got to make you feel great.
When those families come up to you, that's like tells you that's what this is all about.
Absolutely, that almost made me well up just thinking about it, and that's because, that I've always had, I did not know that about you, and that hats off to you. That is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and then I became the captain after working investigations for a while, and when they say time flies, they're not kidding, because I've been the Detective Bureau commander for it's coming up on 14 years. So.
And it seems like you just started probably because it just goes like quick.
I still remember, well, when I was a rookie.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like now it's, you know, time flies. Here it is. Half my career has been as a commander. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just like the time flies concept. A friend of mine when I was in one of the plants, Mikey, we call him Red Bull, and he turned 23 one year, and he's all proud of himself. And he said, "How old are you?" I said, "Double it. You got me." And Mikey said, "Okay." And I love this kid. He reminds me of me at that age because he's real athletic, goofy kid. And he goes, "What?" And he was dead serious. He goes, "What can you tell me that you learned in the 23 years that you have that I don't have yet?" I said, "Mike," I said, "I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Not a lot." I said, the only thing I'm going to tell you, because I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. Everybody's got to follow their own path. I said, the only thing I'm going to tell you, I said, is there anything in life you want to do? He said, yeah. I go, do it. I said, I was your age about 2 weeks ago. He said, really? I said, yeah, absolutely.
And that's a great thing to tell some of these young guys. You know, I'll have young guys. I'm very involved right now in the hiring process because I do polygraph exams.
Okay, yeah.
That's lie detector.
Yeah. I watched Dr. Phil before. I know what that is.
I wish Dr. Phil would hire me to come on.
There you go, yeah.
Anyway, I like to do these exams, and, you know, back in the old days, they used to, like, grill us. You know, they would come in there and almost interrogate you.
Yeah.
Well, with young people now, you know, you treat them like they're, you know, you're equal, and they'll tell you anything.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get the chance to give them some advice on, you know, their career and some things they ought to look at. And, you know, our department, we are very, we love officers that have good character. And, you know, we recognize all of our
It's
employees.
very important, yeah.
You know, their anniversaries, we recognize them for a character trait that we think they excel in. So that's something we start like the first day of the hiring process. We start talking about character and driving that home to these young guys.
Well, actually, I do know one of my friends is I think he's on the Goshen Police Force, Dave Pena, and I've always had a high opinion of him, and I think he's a very good police officer too.
He is. He's been around a while too.
Yeah. No, well, I lived in Goshen for a short stint, and
did they run you out of town?
No. It was just I needed to be back where the corn grows, and then no, I actually was going to school in South Bend. Was another good friend of mine, and hopefully, she's a firefighter now, and I'm hoping to have her on the podcast sometime. Dave. He always cracked me up, but he seems like, well, of course, I've never been pulled over by him because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
I'm not touching.
But he's always came off as I know he's a good officer because I just know the guy and I know his character, and that's the type of people we need to be as police officers, I feel.
We do. I mean, the police officers get a bad rap on the news sometimes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, you see one officer do something bad.
And then it gets generalized as a whole department.
You know, you see one thing happen, say, in South Carolina. Next thing you know, people are thinking you're going to...
Yeah, you're part of that team is what they're saying. Yeah,
it's been written up for...
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't say, I mean, I know you as having a good character, and, well, I mean... Even you had two dads. Your dad and my dad was gonna whip your ass. I mean, you had no choice but to have good character.
I didn't get a whip from mine. Yours was right there waiting.
Yeah. So it's well, hey, seeing you made your way out here, Wawaka Winery. I wanted to make sure you get a free Wawaka Winery hat.
Well, thanks.
So make sure you wear that with pride.
I will. I'm glad you had us out. It's pretty sweet spot you got here.
Well, thank you. It's just it's starting off small. I wasn't sure not sure if it's gonna go, so that's why I was gonna bust a wall out when I first had this in mind. But I thought, no, let's see if it flies first.
Well, I know a guy that builds pole barns. If you ever want to run
that's it's in the back of my mind. I may have talked to him a time or two.
Yeah, you could probably still take him.
Yeah, I think, we won't even go down that road because then I'll get a call in the morning.
You know, I don't know if she'd ever do it, but you know, your Elkhart County prosecutor is a West Noble. Vicki Becker.
Yes, I did. I was thinking she's in Elkhart County.
Yep, she's our prosecutor.
I was thinking she was in a different county, but yeah, I know her well. But for some reason, I was thinking she was in a different county. But yeah,
she's been a deputy prosecutor, and when Curtis Hill,
she's a real go-getter, isn't she?
Oh, she's awesome. She has been a challenge at times because she has raised the bar for what law enforcement does in investigations and. I mean, she's made cops better.
Yeah,
But yeah, she's been a tough one on old Captain Siegel a few times.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. Well, I remember when her and Jason they've dated. I think they were dating in high school, even. As I remember right.
So,
Oh, and Jason he He's part of the fashion farm, and he's got the landscape, and he's a good guy.
He is a great guy.
Yeah. He even told me, and I must have forgotten for some reason. I thought she was in a different county, but he said, if you ever break the law, please don't do it in my wife's county, because I don't want to have her send you to jail. He said, just do it in another county. Exactly. Yeah. But I said, no, I'm ornery, but I know where that line is for the most part.
You keep baiting me tonight.
Oh shoot! Well, hey, I'm sure glad you guys came out tonight, and it was great seeing you again. Like I said, heck, you haven't aged hardly a bit. I'm younger than you, and I look older than you now.
I don't know. I've definitely got some gray hair.
Yeah, well, at least you got. I'd take gray over what I got going on under this hat any day. But I'm still in physical. I'm still in pretty good shape. I can still take on
circles around those young guys.
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah, they look at me in amazement at work.
Yeah, but probably not for the reason.
Yeah. But well, hey, I'm really glad you came out, and boy, I hope the next time I see you, I hope to see you before then, but I hope we see you in the sheriff's department there. And by the way, when is all the voting and all that dates?
Election day is May 8th.
Okay.
Early voting, I believe, starts early in April. So
okay, so everybody out there, remember Jeff Siegel for Elkhart County Sheriff, May 8th, and I vouch for the guy, and I'm serious, I really do, and he's a good guy, and I think you're gonna make a great sheriff, and because I know your family, and it's a great family, every one of you. I've always liked you, and your mom kept me on a straight and narrow, being my Sunday school teacher, and she ended up
living just down the road.
Yeah, she ended up I used to stop by. She'd yell at me if I didn't stop out or not. If I got too busy, I got a phone call. Come down and see me. Now I'll go down and see Donna. And she was a sweetheart of a woman. I loved her to death.
She was something else. She was one of a kind.
Yeah, exactly. So when she first moved down there, I was thrilled that she moved close to me. So I miss her. I'm sure
we talk about her. There's not a day goes by we don't have something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So well, hey, good luck to you, and everybody out there, have a good night, and we'll see you next time on the Wawaka Experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cut.
Primary 2018 is 101 days away. So come out, vote for Jeff Siegel for Elkhart County Sheriff. This is Jeff Siegel, and I approve this message.